All right, guys. Our next guest was supposed to headline UFC on ESPN 8 against Jairzinho Rozenstruik, first in Columbus, then at the UFC Apex. He is still the number 2 ranked heavyweight in the world. He joins us on the show for the very first time to talk about what's next. The Predator himself, Francis Ngannou. Welcome to Submission Radio. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. And yourself?
Very good, very good. And it's a momentous moment because not only are you here to distract people in this time of need, but this is your first appearance on Submission Radio. It's a special moment for us, Francis. We appreciate you coming on. And before we get into it,
you won't be the last anyway.
Well, before we get into it, we've been meaning to get your reaction to Joe Rogan breaking your powerkube record, setting a record of 151,000 with a kick. We saw in January you tweeted that you want a rematch. What was your reaction when you saw Joe broke your record?
I mean, we all know that kick is always powerful and hands. So, I mean, I was impressed because before Joe Rogan, I haven't seen nobody with that record on the kick, but kick is always powerful than in hand.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If you did it again, if you did the rematch, would you be punching it or would you be kicking it, the old power cube?
I don't know. I think I'll try some kick.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, legs are very heavy compared to hands.
If Joe Rogan is listening to this right now, you proposed a rematch. What is your message to him, and how would this rematch go?
Whoa. It's just a high cube. It's just a ice cube, man, and it's just fun. It's not, it's not that important. It doesn't matter how it goes. It's still good. It's still cool. As long as I have to hang out with Joe, it's okay.
A few shots on the power cube and then Francis Ngannou on the Joe Rogan Experience. I think that's what the people are clamoring for. But I'm just wondering, man, like you're sitting at home at the moment, you got a beautiful couch. It's crazy times at the moment. What have you been doing lately to sort of pass the time? As I imagine you would have been quarantined lately.
Man, it's kind of like crazy lately. What I've been doing, just staying home, chill, trying to do some home workout, but don't really have like motivation.
Yeah.
Sleep, watch TVs, watch movies, watch animals on TVs.
What are you watching, Francis? What's a good movie or TV show that's popped up lately for you?
Who pops up lately? Lately I've been watching I'm always a big movie watcher. So I watch like movies like the TV shows, okay. American Heist, La Casa de Papel. Oh man, that's amazing. TV shows like I just watched the Walking Dead.
It's a little bit like what's happening now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of like funny because at first you don't really believe it until you get there and you're like, okay, so this is true, and it's keep evolving. So I think at some point we're just gonna be go out there scavenging for food as they did in the Walking Dead. This kind of like some sort of Walking Dead right now.
It's crazy because I think none of us really expected it to be this big or go far, and then here we are, all quarantined. I wonder what it's like for you, Francis, given that you were supposed to be fighting. I believe we're a few days away from when you were supposed to be fighting, and now you're at home. Well, how weird is that for you?
Man, it's no matter how weird it is, you have to face the reality. The reality is something is going wrong in this world right now, and everyone has to Everyone has to sit down and trying to do whatever you have to do let it happen. This time is not like it's someone's fault. So yeah, it's not great. It could be like frustrating, but if you think about it, it's what is basically happening to everybody, everyone in the world. So it's not just about you, it's about the entire world. Yeah.
A very positive mindset. I just want to go through the whole experience, because first you were supposed to fight at the UFC Apex. The fight got moved. When did you find out the fight was going to be postponed? Did the UFC call you directly to tell you? How did you first find out?
Excuse me. Yes, the UFC they called my manager. They didn't call me, but the time that they called my manager and my manager called me after, I saw that on social that the event has been postponed. Yes, with all these crazy things going on, sometimes it's not like you don't like do things the right way. You don't do things in the order or whatever. Everyone is trying to do whatever it can do as fast as possible and as good as possible. So yeah, it's the madness out there.
Nah, definitely difficult times. I'm just wondering, did they mention when the fight could happen? We know the UFC is looking to do UFC 249 with Khabib and Tony. Is there a chance he could be fighting on that card, or is it not certain when the fight would happen?
There's a chance that I can be fighting in that card, but they have to settle everything down. Like for now, it seems like they have a location, but they still have to double check and see how they're gonna handle this event safely for people. Because first of all, it's not just about, they are not just expecting to go put people there fighting. They're also like trying to make things to care about our health, So I got tested. They got me tested from the COVID-19. So I guess they tested other fighters too. So which is kind of like a positive thing and like make you feel a little bit safe to get close or along with those people.
When did they test you?
Week ago.
Was it the UFC or was it just like you went to the doctors?
No, it was the UFC.
Oh wow. Okay, well it's good that they're actually testing for.
He was the doctor, but through the UFC.
Yeah, well that's good because originally they weren't testing fighters, so it's good to see that they are now. How would you feel if you were fighting a UFC 249? Would that be a good thing for you? Would you be, concerned?
No. I won't be concerned because once again, okay, I don't want to say that COVID-19 is nothing. I don't want to say it's not bad, but technically, I think it's a flu that we have all the time. The only problem with it is that it's contagious and it can spread very fast. And yes, but no, I won't be concerned about it because even after the test, I wasn't very worried. I'm like, okay, whatever is it, it's gonna be okay. It's not like bad because I think the thing right now is just the panic. So this thing has caused more panic than the real pain himself, like we are just panicking. We are panicking. Like sometimes you think about it and then you're gonna see. I saw people that has cancer. I went to the hospital last week to see some friend of my friend who was at the hospital for the chemo, and he was there about to have a chemo. He was scared about the coronavirus. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy times right now. Just going to your opponent, I know you were supposed to fight Rozenstruik. Is he still the opponent that you would have if you were to fight UFC 249, or would it be a different opponent?
I think it's to the guy, it's to the same opponent. If he's I assume, I don't know, I assume that he got tested as well. But yes, if he's well, yeah, I think it's still a plan.
I'm wondering where would you be willing to travel to have this fight? Because it looks like it's not going to be in the United States. Are you happy to travel to another country to do this fight?
Listen, as long as they figure out and tell me that it's safe, yeah, I will travel. I don't have any problem with traveling.
Have they told you anything in terms of possible locations? I know Dana White said that he's secured a location. Do you know what the location is?
No. I mean, even if I do, I wouldn't tell you, man.
Oh, I thought we were friends. Talking to you. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Because it's like a close disclosure.
Yeah.
People are saying the moon. People are saying Mars. People are saying Russia. Could we rule Russia, the moon, and Mars out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, anywhere, anyhow, it's gonna be. I guess it's gonna be somewhere on Earth. It's gonna be on this planet.
Juicy scoop, exclusive. Francis confirms that it's gonna be on Earth. All right, good. We can use that. I'm just wondering, like, what would it feel like for you to be fighting, you know, in this scenario? Because the thing is, like, you've been away for so long, and people have been wanting to see you back. And I know that for a long time, people felt that you potentially deserved the next title shot. So is this, I guess, the ideal scenario for you to be fighting? Because you were supposed to be fighting this weekend. And I guess in this case, at least your fight's still going on.
Okay, so talking about the ideal scenario, this is not an ideal scenario for anybody right now. So nobody was expecting this thing. Nobody was prepared already for this thing. So then if it's about to compromise and make things happen, yes, we will compromise and make things happen. You know, I don't think the ideal scenario for the UFC was to be like 3 weeks away looking for a location for place the event. You know, that wasn't an ideal scenario. We just got caught up and trying to find a solution to make this happen. Obviously, I haven't fight for a very long time, and I really want to fight. But at the meantime, it's not just because I want to fight. I mean, like, if I feel like I'm not safe, I want to be part of it. But I'm just part of it because I feel like it's safe. Because nothing worth my hurt, you know.
I'm just wondering, Francis, training-wise, like how prepared would you be for this one? Because I know you mentioned just before, like, you're at home, you're kind of stuck at home, and you're not feeling very motivated. Where would you even be able to train to prepare for this fight if you had to?
Well, question. The problem is the same obstacle that I have right now. My opponent has the same thing. We all have the same thing. We all are in the same condition. It's not like he's somewhere training good in the gym, sparring, doing this, and I'm stuck here. No, we all are stuck. So it's just gonna be a evil misplaced.
I'm just wondering as well, is there a timeline where a cutoff date in your mind where you need to know for sure if you're fighting or not? I know we're just a few weeks away. When do you need to know for certain that this fight is going to take place? How far away from the fight do you need the UFC to confirm it for you?
I mean, obviously, like every fighter, you would like to know as soon as possible, like 2 months, like two months away, 2 months from the fight, you know. But viewing the circumstances, you kind of like understand the situation. You kind of understand that they are trying to make it happen. You know, they don't. It's not like they have everything under control and don't tell you. You know, so I mean, it's just as I said before. It's just something that you have to be in or out. Like I compromise or I don't compromise. It's all about you.
Would you want to be compensated extra for sort of, fighting in such a weird scenario and possibly having to fly to a brand new location on short notice?
That would be my business between my manager and the UFC.
Sure.
But nobody never say no for extra compensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate the time, Francis, and it's so much fun having you on the program. Casper mentioned it before earlier in the show, and I just want to find out from you, if you do fight at UFC 249 and you do beat Rozenstruik, do you believe that should automatically make you the next challenger for the heavyweight title? If this fight does happen, do you believe you should be able to fight for the title next?
Okay, what I believe is that, I mean, I might just be like a little too much, but what I believe is that I didn't need to fight Rozenstruik to get the title shot. I believe I deserve the title shot right now, right where I am, even without this fight. So that's what I believe. But at the end of the day, it's not my call.
Well, I was going to say, what do you think about the UFC? It looks like they're going to be making Stipe versus Daniel Cormier, the trilogy
That's
fight.
what they said.
Yeah.
That's what they said. But the question is when.
I know you've been away for quite some time, and people can't wait to see your return at UFC 249, possibly. If the UFC do try to make the Stipe DC fight, would you consider fighting again just so you wouldn't have to take another long layoff? Or what kind of mindset do you have in terms of your activity if that fight does get made?
Willing to wait. How long? That's the question. Who should I fight before that fight? How long is it going to take? So once again, I said, this is not my call. I'm gonna fight, you know, like right now, I take my eyes off the title. So whenever it happens, it's happened, but it's not my worry anymore. You know, just want to stay active.
Well, let's just quickly touch on this fight with the Rozenstruik that might happen at UFC 249. Obviously, he's made quite a name for himself very, very quickly, just like you, with very devastating finishes and great performances. How do you see this matchup going if you guys do fight each other in a few weeks? How do you see this fight playing out? How do you see him and you matching up?
Well, I think he's not ready for this yet. He didn't know what he was calling, you know. And then when we're gonna step there in the cage, then he'll find out that that was a mistake. But by the time, it will be too late for him.
I think you go.
No, you go ahead. I'm done.
What did you think about his win over Overeem? Because that was kind of the big win that put him on the map. But also, your win over Overeem was one that, you know, it'll live on in highlight reels forever. Were you impressed by him in his Overeem fight?
No, I mean, I don't think anybody who watched that fight was impressed by him because he lost the entire fight. Like minute per minute, he lose the fight. If we have about the score minute per minute, he lose the 24 minutes until the last minute. I think that was a lucky shot. Like he gave it all at one to see how he plays out, and it caught him. Also, he still had a luck that the referee stopped earlier because with 4 seconds left, Alistair wasn't like out. He was still fighting. So that was lucky win for him, which is far from something that could have impressed somebody, and me again.
Well, you've obviously fought some of the best guys in the world, and you've already fought the champion, Stipe Miocic, for the belt. So when you look at Rozenstruik, and obviously coming off that Overeem win, where does he rank as like one of your toughest opponents?
Okay, so this is the thing. Everyone that I faced, that I have to face, I consider all them tough. Because as soon as you start to think like someone is less tough than another one, I think that's a mistake. So I can't be able to answer that question. Every fight, every upcoming fight, you probably have to think about your opponent, like the toughest challenge that you ever had. So, yeah.
It's interesting because whenever people fight you, obviously that first round is so dangerous, and people say that, they're going to take you on, but then we see they try and avoid obviously getting hit by you, and they try not to meet you in the middle of that octagon. Do you think Rozenstruik will try and avoid getting hit and getting into a battle at the start of the fight, and will try and drag it out? How do you think he's going to try and approach it? Or do you think he's going to go in there with the full mindset of trying to stop you early?
I think he's hyped up, and right now he truly believes in himself. So, and he truly, he has his confidence right now, his full cup confidence. And I wouldn't be surprised if he walked straight to me to attack, to control the octagon. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think that's exactly kind of what people, hope for if they see, you and Rozenstruik sort of meet in the middle and throw down. I really appreciate the time, Francis, and we'll let you go in a moment. But before we do, I just wanted to ask you what you think about Jon Jones potentially coming up to heavyweight, because this is something that people have been expecting for a long time. And it seems like it's on the cards, eventually. And obviously, if he does come to heavyweight, there's guys like yourself and Stipe that he'll be facing. So how well do you think Jon Jones could do in your division?
I think Jon Jones could do well wherever he goes, wherever he want to be. There's no doubt about it. Like when you look skill-wise, fighting experience, everything, there's no doubt that he can do well everywhere.
I guess from your perspective, do you feel like a guy like Jon Jones could be a challenge for you? Because especially I think in the striking, people find it fascinating.
Yeah, of course.
Could be challenging for you?
Yes, Jon Jones is a challenge for everyone. Obviously, I would put myself as a winner, but if you don't take Jon Jones as a challenge, that means something's wrong with that means you're crazy a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy has been around and has been beating people up, being champ, been through all type of fight. Over years and years, and stood there in the top position. And if you don't take it as a challenge, that means you get it wrong. All wrong.
If you and Jon Jones were in a fight, what do you think would be sort of the most dangerous aspect of Jon's fight? And as far as the size, how much of a difference maker do you think it really makes?
I haven't think about that. Because right now I'm heavyweight, Jon Jones is light heavyweight. Before then, I just get trying to focus about what's going on in the heavyweight. Maybe if Jon Jones step up in the heavyweight, then I'll start to be concerned about him and studying him. But right now, no, I don't really think about it.
There's bigger fish to fry. While we're talking about dream fights at heavyweight, we got to bring up Tyson Fury. We have to get your reaction. What did you think about his big win over Deontay Wilder just recently?
Very impressive. But I knew that he's gonna win. He's gonna knock Tyson Fury out. He's gonna knock Wilder out. My bad. Because the way that he showed up. When you look the first fight, you can understand that Tyson Fury kind of like get the first fight and to settle, to figure out how to fight Wilder, because the guy is very smart. I mean, Fury is very smart. And then when he came at the weigh-in, heavier than before, it was just easy to understand that he'd been putting a lot of work in the power, you know? Yeah, like strengthening himself to knock the guy down, because he has everything to knock him down. He can cut him anytime. So yes, that was very impressive. Like to take Wilder and beat him like that, man, it's something that never happened.
Yeah, it was a great performance. A lot of people obviously think that Deontay Wilder has the strongest power when it comes to boxing. I'm just wondering, what do you think of Deontay Wilder and his power punch? And obviously, we know you're the hardest hitter in MMA. How do you think the power matches up in MMA compared to the power that Deontay Wilder throws? I know you set records everywhere. You're like the Deontay Wilder of MMA. People believe you have the biggest power in MMA.
I mean, I don't really know, and we can't really know exactly like what is the matchup like, because in the heavyweight division, like when you're like even the average power man in the heavyweight division, if he's connect you go down.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're like have more power and then connect somebody, he goes down. If they want Wilder connect somebody, he goes down. If I connect, he goes down. So you can't really manage that.
Obviously, a massive performance from Tyson Fury. I know you want to take Tyson Fury on eventually. It's a fight that people want to see. And we heard that Mike Tyson is apparently going to be one of your trainers if that fight does happen. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Would he actually be one of your coaches if you fight Tyson Fury?
Definitely. We spoke about it, and that was very clear. Like, because I really think about to like go back, do some boxing matches.
Obviously, Mike Tyson is an absolute legend. I'm just wondering, have you trained with him yet at all, or is this something that's going to happen? And
No,
why
no
did
way.
Sorry?
No, not yet.
Not yet. I'm just wondering, what would it mean for you to train with a guy like Mike Tyson, one of the biggest legends in boxing?
I think it will mean the same thing to everyone. It's very like it's one of the greatest of all the time. Like to have a chance to be there with him, you know, the guy that you've been watching on YouTube, how he fights, to be there in the same locker room or in the same gym, like listening to him, coaching you. I think it's just something unbelievable. I kind of like picture it. Like even when I was with him, he was showing me something, some trick. Then I'm like, so this is real. I'm here with Tyson, with Mike Tyson, like for real, you know. So it's kind of like great.
Would you want him in your corner if you fought Tyson Fury?
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh wow, that would be incredible. I'm just wondering, what is it about the Tyson Fury fight that interests you so much?
He's the best. We don't have to. We can argue that he's the best. He's the biggest challenge ever regarding boxing. And also remember, he was about to cross over to come to MMA, to the UFC and fight me. That's how he came out. That's how this all started. He said he wanted to cross over, come to the UFC and fight. Then I'm like, okay, I'm willing to take the challenge and I can return you the favor in the ring, because I'm gonna beat him in the octagon, definitely.
Because
then I can give him the rematch in the ring.
Yeah, because it's an interesting situation because he spoke about wanting to do the crossover fight. And I'm just wondering, are you open to fighting him in MMA and boxing? Or would you be open to fighting him in boxing first and then possibly fighting him in MMA? What are your thoughts on it?
It's the same thing. I mean, MMA and boxing, or boxing and MMA, at the end, it's going to be boxing and MMA. It's going to be both together.
And we do appreciate your time. We'll let you go and just want a couple more questions. But just when it comes to MMA and the punching power, and obviously, you know, the glove size and the differences that it makes, you know, how do you see Tyson Fury making the crossover to fighting you in MMA with MMA gloves? Do you think he understands how hard it is and the differences and the advantages of being in MMA? Do you believe there are advantages in MMA compared to boxing that he doesn't understand yet?
Yeah, definitely. It's two different sports, two different experiences.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we are very honored to have you on the program. Thank you so much for joining us. Crazy times right now, guys. Francis Ngannou, you can follow him at Francis_Ngannou on Twitter, Instagram at Francis Ngannou. And of course, he may or may not be fighting at UFC 249. For now, he graces us with his presence and distracts us from what has been a stressful week in everybody's lives. Francis, we do appreciate you. And thank you so much for coming on to Submission Rate for the first time.
Thank you, guys. See you next time then.